Hello everyone, this is Starman and welcome back to Let's Play Quest for Glory 2, Trial by Fire, the VGA remake, The Thief Path. Well, as you can see, we are still in a prison cell in Razir. You hear the sound of guards talking just outside the door. Probably an indicator that we need to step up, so let's go ahead and greet. Katta just stares suspiciously at you. Ask about name. Stares suspiciously at you. Does nothing. Well, thankfully we have one item left in our person. The Katta gave you the sapphire pin, and thanks for service to their kind. We show this to our potential new friend, who we probably have a good idea who this guy is, because it was said there was only one Katta left in Razir. A pin like that can only be seen by a friend, such as its magic. You must be very trusted by my people to gain such a thing. Well, Katta friend, let us escape this very dangerous place. Let's go ahead and greet. Greetings, friend of the Katta, so we should look for a way out of here. Now that you've made friends and told tales, it's time to think about escaping. Now, how are we going to escape? Well, there's actually a couple options, but the obvious one, if you remember what was said when we first got the pin, remembering your advanced adventuring lessons, you set to work on the cell door lock using the pointed end of your sapphire pin as a lockpick. I have heard from others in the underground that there's a concealed passage in the room outside this cell. Yeah, and if you didn't get the pin for some reason, you can search the straw to find a nail that will do the same thing. The entrance to the passageway should be here. Yes, it is here. Lend your strong shoulder to this task. I have helped others escape through the secret passageways. Do not fear. I will lead you to safety through the passageways, Katta friend. Perhaps before you leave you should pick up your equipment over there near the cell. But do not dally too long or the guards will surely come. Recover equipment, use the passageway, and the Katta leads you through the dark passages under the palace to a secret entrance into the Razir streets. And if I understand correctly, you are he who defended Shapir from the magical elementals, and you are now here to liberate our fair city. I am impressed by your sense of honor, yet despite your previous heroics, I think you will need assistance in taking down the entire Razirian regime. I believe you should lay low for now, friend of the Katta. If you are captured again, they will surely kill you on sight. Tomorrow night, the underground will launch an attack on the palace in an attempt to overthrow the Emir. If you can manage to stay out of Kavin's hands for one more day, you would be a very valuable ally to us. And yet, this is another change-up from the VGA game, which just dumped you out in an alley with a blurb telling you all that. But now we actually get a chance to talk to our new friend. And yeah, making the thief side is an option, but it took some effort to win Sharaf's trust. You don't want to make him suspicious of you again. So yeah, and we already know it's Sharaf, even though we haven't asked his name, but my name is Sharaf, which means honor. Ask Rumor. It is rumored that Kavin is but a tool for someone more cruel and powerful, someone who uses magic to rule Razir. Kavin is the most feared man in all Razir, although rumor has it he is not the most powerful. The magic of the Katta is subtle. An oil lamp that never burns out, a door that always opens to your touch, a pin that can only be seen by friends. And Razir. The grandmothers of our grandmothers' grandmothers were born in this place. Katta have lived here ever since before there was a city. No one can keep the Katta from their home. The Katta will come back. We are little folk yet. Still, we can bring down the state. And we can tell him a few things. Let's tell him about Shima, first of all. You tell Sharaf about how you met Shima and Shamin in Spielberg and how you stayed at their inn in Shapir. Shima and Shamin are good folk. It seems they went through a lot to bring you here. I hope to see them again when this is all over, so I can listen to their tales and watch my cousin dance. And you can also tell him about the inn. Tell about the Blue Parrot Inn. That inn is a prime example of the shadow of this former city. That inn is the prime example of the shadow of its former self that this entire city has become. Talking about Ferrari. The new owner of the inn is as corrupt as the government. Men like him will be happy to sit by and watch the city decay as long as their own interests are served. Not severed. We talk about Ugart. I wish Kavin would fill his dungeon with more of Ferrari's seedy associates and less innocent people. And you can tell about Kavin. Kaveen's ruthlessness and skill with the sword ensure that even his own men are afraid of him. That is how he established and maintained his grasp on Razier, through intimidation and oppression. Yet rumor has it he is taking orders from someone behind the scenes. I personally find it hard to imagine anyone with the capability of intimidating Kaveen. And we can maybe tell about Ad Avis. I'd love to hear more, hero, but now is not the time for tales. And yeah, it'd help if I spelled her name right. We can tell about Zaisha. I am happy to hear that you managed to help her. She deserves someone a lot better than Kaveen. And we can also tell about the Emir. So the old Emir is still alive? I'm very relieved to hear that, Effendi. I hope he will walk the streets of this city as a human again soon. And we can also ask about the palace. Actually, ask about the palace. There are many passages under the palace. Many times I've traveled through them to help release prisoners. We can also ask him about the inn. The Blue Parrot Inn is a meeting place for dogs to lick Kaveen's boots and then growl at him behind his back. We can ask about the Sultan. The Sultan of Shapir is very powerful, but too far away to aid Razier. We can also ask about the underground. The resistance consists of many of the guards and townsfolk who rebel against the tyranny of the new Emir. We can also ask him about Shamin. He is very brave and honorable. He swore as the Katta were driven from Razier that he would find a hero to restore our homeland. It seems he has found one. We can also ask about Shima. Shima is my cousin. She is very bright, knows how to run an inn. She's also a good judge of character, and would know a true hero when she saw you. We can also ask about Shapir. Shapir is a fine city, but is not the home that Razier was to the Katta. We can also ask about the Emir. The new Emir is but a fool, and the underground will soon dispose of him. And we can also ask about capture, how he got caught. I was captured when a former member of the underground betrayed us, and the guards found where I stayed. And we can also ask about escape. Thanks to your help, I will be able to continue the fight for our city. Let's say goodbye. You are right. Our chances of avoiding capture will be greater if we split up. Do not return to the Blue Parrot. Those scoundrels will not hesitate to turn you in once they hear Kaveen is looking for you. Avoid the guards at all costs, as they will know of our escape. May we both fare well, hero friend. Now we've got our map back. We can see that we are at the end of that one alleyway that we did not go down before. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of places that we can go and hide right now. Oh, and note that this street, suicide is punishable by death. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. We passed that one earlier. But there's the last one direction that we can go. Again, the game's subtly hurting us where we need to go. You find you cannot move. The man before you has a low, pleasant voice and eyes like a snake. That description sounds vaguely familiar. Matt, I am your friend. Remember your friend Ad Avis. Remember my voice. Remember my face. Trust me, I am your friend. You try to struggle, but your body will not obey. You cannot even close your eyes, but you try to avoid his gaze. There is something about his eyes, though. I am your friend, and you trust me. Trust in my words. Trust in my eyes. Look in my eyes and trust me. You look at his eyes and cannot look away. They seem to glow. His words seem to whirl around your head. Matt, I am your friend. Obey now your friend Ad Avis. Obey now my words. Obey now my voice. Trust in your friend and obey me. You find yourself relaxing. You are with a friend. His eyes are gentle and his smile warms you. What smile? Matt, you know me. I am your friend Ad Avis, who helped you escape from the dungeons of Razier. Together we seek to aid our friend the Emir Aris. I was his trusted vizier, remember? You find yourself nodding at this humble, gentle man. To end the evil reign of Kaveen and restore our friend the Emir Aris, together we must go out into the desert. We must journey to the Forbidden City and recover the magical item that will break the spell upon the Emir. We need to get the Statue of Iblis. Yes, you know this is something you've got to do, but you frown as you try to remember something you once heard about Iblis. You remember the Statue of Iblis, don't you? It has remarkable powers and can break any spell it touches. We need to take that statue to Aris, our friend. Together, let us save the city of Razir. He puts his arm on your shoulders and you smile. Here is a man of great wisdom that you have trusted and respected, and he needs your help. Together, you will save the Emir. You and Ad Avis will get the Statue of Iblis. You there! Try walking through the door now! No, no, fool! Pass through it! Oh, get out of the way! You have no idea how or why you got here, but it is nice to be able to such a nice man. I cannot be mistaken. My translation of the prophecy must be correct. It must be you. Of all the stupid heroes in the world, I had to be cursed with you. What is wrong? How does it go? For 1,000 years and a year, Iblis will be bound. I know it has been 1,001 years to the very day, so that must be correct. Beneath the tombstones of the city that he once did found. This is the Forbidden City, there is no doubt of that. Then comes a hero from the Northland led unto despair. You are the only hero that I have found recently. It must be you, and I have no doubt that you will despair before I am through with you. Passing through the door and open that he will find there. The door! Accursed door, why can you not pass through it? When the moonlight shines between the dragon's jaws and is caught and held there by the scorpion's claws. The moon is not due to rise between two constellations until tomorrow. How can I be wrong? I will not be denied. I cannot be wrong. It did not say 1,001 years and a day. No! But how can the moon be where it cannot be? You're the hero. Answer me. How can the moon be between the dragon and the scorpion? Well, gonna do a quick save here, because I didn't show you one of the more amusing deaths in the game before, but you can get one here. Your friend ignores you. He is concentrating intensely on the door. Talk about Ad Avis. Questions. Do you have nothing better to do than waste my time? Let me think, and I advise you to do the same. Forbidden City. Enough! You do not want to make me angry. I grow impatient with your nonsense. I will find a way to make the moon obey you, or you will face my wrath. The pale moon provides the only illumination for this eerie tableau. He seems like such a nice man. You really would like to be able to help him. And we ask about friendship. You would try the paces of a dervish. Do something! Razir. So be it! By the powers of all darkness, by the power of my name, shall your soul be mirrored outward, and your body be the same. Ooh, I hate it when this happens. But yeah, in fact, the solution... the one item that we've got that has no apparent obvious use. You whip the mirror out of your pocket and carefully direct the reflected moonlight between the constellations. At last! Now how does the rest of the prophecy go? And at last the hero, he who waits behind, shall see, when Iblis rises by the Dark One, and the light shall flee. By the name of Suleiman, so shall this be. Now you know all that you need to know. Go in there and bring me the Statue of Iblis. And this seems somewhat familiar. Yeah, they're totally cribbing from the story of Aladdin for this part. What, the hero, evil sorcerer, cave only the hero can enter to retrieve a magic item. Very important to keep that in mind when you get here. Because like Aladdin, we're going to face a few tests getting to where we need to go. For a few moments, your mind is overwhelmed by squalling, whirling wind. Then the euphoric feeling starts to fade and you stand alone in darkness. The past few hours are hazy in your memory. You remember only one thing clearly. You are here to find the statue of Iblis. But let's shed some light on the subject first. Because, yeah, bad stuff will happen if you try and walk around in the dark. And let's go and fill water skins while we're here. Whoops! Well, would you believe good idea but bad timing? Missed it by that much. So, good thing I chose to save the game here to do that demonstration of the honestly, the point-and-click interface, I thought that it would let me do that automatically. But you are, in fact, supposed to jump onto the log and then float across and then jump across where it's a little safer to do so. Didn't jump off quite quickly enough. You seem to have fallen off screen to the jagged rocks below. And you can just walk into the water too, but I'm not going to do that. There we go. Great volumes of air being sucked into this small hole. And yeah, we're probably strong enough to break with our bare hands, but the thieves have a unique way of being able to deal with it. The wind no longer blows as fiercely as before. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to make our way through the wind tunnel up ahead. And yes, you may have noticed that we're facing some elemental challenges again. You know, we have a waterfall to traverse, we have a wind tunnel to fight our way past. In the distance, we can see a red glow beyond this chamber. The rock glistens with moisture. It's funny, I vaguely remember there being somewhere in one of these games where you get a comment about stalactites or stalagmites looking at the rocks in a cave, but it might not be this one. And you need to be careful not to fall on the ledge down below. And this is why I refilled water skins, because this part can be a bit tricky. The heat of this room is painful. You feel the sweat pour down you and hear it sizzle on the ground below. There's a distinct odor of brimstone around you. Trial by fire, folks, as advertised. You pour some water over your clothes and feel a little relief from the heat. Most of the water you poured over yourself has evaporated. You're starting to get very hot. But thankfully by this point we're past the most of it, and I managed that without having the fire hit me once. Oh, my honor's back up to 198 after my thieving from earlier. And we can just jump down here. This is number one of the three things. The fighter can just jump down. The wizard can levitate. We, however, are going to climb down. I mean, we bought this magic rope, we might as well use it. Alright, so now we have a door. You hear a deep echoing voice. None shall enter, none shall pass, but he who speaks the name of power. Speak now the name of power. Well, that would, of course, be Suleiman, the magical ruler who set this place up. Here's sound of thunder. And yeah, here's the bit where you get more Aladdin vibes, because Shmuck Babe, all that glitters is not gold. Looks like treasure of gold and jewels. And we check out the one to the north. Looks like armor of gold. We're not picking any of this up because, you know, we're a thief. We're smarter than this. But also, again, remember Aladdin. Don't touch the treasure in the Cave of Wonders. And if you remember the prophecy from this game, when it talked about what we got from the astrologer, it said something about having to walk past temptation. A glow illuminates this chamber. It flows from an object high atop the strange substructure above you. At the sight of the glowing object, you feel irresistibly drawn forward. Your feet seem to move with a will of their own. As you draw near, you see that the object is a statue made of crystal. A dark, shapeless form stirs within it. The crystal's cool glow is numbing. You feel compelled to pick it up, but as you reach out, you are suddenly unable to move. Fool! Some hero you are! A pawn of the very man you sought to destroy! Thanks to your help, I now have that through which I can summon the destructive, or the greatest destructive power ever known, Iblis himself! Do you know how long I have awaited this moment? 70 years. 70 years I have served the Dark Master, watching for the stars to align. 70 years I have spent learning the magic that controls men's mind, and waiting for a fool to fulfill the prophecy for me. Tonight, as the moon arises between the scorpion's claws and the dragon's teeth, I shall begin the ritual that shall make me master. I will control Iblis, and thus control the world. While you, pawn of prophecy, shall remain behind in this tomb, you shall be he who waits behind. Spoiler, this is not going to be the end of the game. Farewell, hero. Because everything I've said about Aladdin up until now, remember how Aladdin was able to escape? Well, this one owes more to the classic story than the Disney version or some of the versions you may have read. But if we walk around this cave long enough, the door is apparently blocked by tons of rock, apparently for good. Eventually, something flashes in the darkness. You pick up the ring and read the inscription, He Who Waits Behind. As you put it on your finger, you twist it a bit to see its design. And if you'll indulge me, I'm going to do a certain voice for this fellow. I must grant you 3 wishes, O Master of the Ring! What is your first wish? Let's go ahead and greet. Hello, Master! You still have 3 wishes left! Well, we can actually start making wishes, but let's talk with him a bit first. What's your name? I've been in the ring so long, I think I forgot. You can call me Genie, though. Rumor. It was rumored that the Sultan of Ishfan was in love with a cow, but I guess that was a long time ago. Purpose. Well, I was supposed to make sure Iblis doesn't get loose, so now I guess I've got to help you bring him back, as the prophecy says. Ask about the prophecy. The prophecy may have become a bit garbled over the years, but the original was like this when Suleiman taught it to me. 1,000 years in a year, so Iblis shall be bound, in the tombstones of the city where he and I once fought, until moonlight has been captured twixt the scorpion and the drake. Then comes the hero from the Northland, and ancient powers awake. Leaden followed by a dark one, guide to deceit and despair, passing through the trial by fire, trials of water, earth, and air, passing through the door and open barrier that yields to yon, by the name of Suleiman, shall this all be done. Come at last unto betrayal, and to he who waits behind, that's me, and now how the rest of it go? And a bliss shall rise, and then something about a final night, I'll remember it sometime. And Iblis was the most powerful of all jinn. 1,000 years and a year ago, he created a huge city and tried to make all men bow before him. Suleiman surrounded all the jinn summoned all the jinn to his side, and with their power turned the city into Iblis's tomb. Then Iblis himself was caught and bound, and became the statue you saw here. That was Suleiman. Suleiman bin Daud was the wisest of the wise, strongest of the strong, most magicalist of the magicians. He was also very kind and made me into he who waits behind and put me in the ring. That's about the ring. I'm sure that I'm the jinn of the ring. Suleiman asked for someone to stay behind and guard to make sure Iblis didn't escape. I volunteered. All the other jinn laughed at me because I'm not very good at magic. But not Suleiman. He said I'd do fine and left me be he who waits behind. I guess he was wrong, huh? Iblis is gone and you and I are kind of stuck here, aren't we, Master? Master. You are the Lord of the Ring. Do 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 do. Sorry. And since you put the ring on and twisted it, your wish is my command as long as it helps return Iblis here. Okay, we ask about jinn. We jinn are very great and powerful. Well, some of us are, anyway. That's about the tomb. This used to be the city that Iblis created, but after Suleiman and I and all the other jinn beat Iblis, this became kind of his tomb, I suppose. And we can ask about wishes. I can grant you 3 wishes by the power of the ring. I can get you anything you want as long as it's his health, prowess, or teleporting you to Iblis. Well, ask about health. I can heal your wounds and injuries and make you better. Well, I got potions for that, so prowess. I can give you the ability of 10 men at any skill you want to improve upon. You have but to wish for strength or magic or intelligence or sneaking or, well, you get the idea. Well, teleport. I am supposed to make sure Iblis is returned to the Forbidden City. I do have enough magic to take you with me when where Iblis has been taken, I think. And purpose. Well, we covered that one already. Now, there are a few secret things we can ask him about, so we can go ahead and ask him about Shapir. Let's see, that was a small town around here somewhere, isn't it? We can ask about Razir. That's where all the Katta live, I think. We can ask about the Katta. The Katta are some cat people who live out in the desert. We can ask about the desert. The Ifrit like to live in the desert, and Ifrit is a kind of jinn. And we ask about Ifrit. And elemental. Some jinn can make powerful elementals, but not me. I did make a pepperoni pizza once, though. And let's ask about pizza elemental. It's made of dough with cheese and tomato on top. And we ask about the specific types of elemental. That's some sort of magic fire, maybe. I think that looks something like a lot of wind. It's big and looks like it was made from rocks. And water elemental. It's an elemental made out of water. Okay, not the most useful or amusing information out of that. But let's go ahead and make some wishes. So, first wish is that we can do healing. We can wish for communication. But we are going to go ahead and wish for agility. By my power, may you have the skills of 10 men! You suddenly feel much more skilled. Gee, it's so nice when my magic actually works! What is your next wish, O Master of the Ring? And I'm also going to do lockpicking, because we are not going to get much chance to improve that in the next game. You have but one wish left. Choose carefully, Master. Well, obviously, teleport to Iblis. There will be no safety for anyone until Iblis is returned, Master. We must hurry and bring him back. In the name of Suleiman bin Daud the Binder, and by my power, let he who waits behind take us to Iblis. Well, what do you know? It worked! My magic really worked! We are now in what you call Razir. This is as close to Iblis as I could get. There's some very powerful spells coming from that palace over there. We don't have much time. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go! There's a soft whisper from the alleyway. Hero friend, what magic you have at your command? Hey, good to see you, Sharaf. The underground is prepared to attack the palace. If you need to enter there, we will provide some distraction for you. However, we are also almost ready, so you must hurry before you are caught in our battle. Sharaf silently sneaks off, and just to check, Agility 250, Pick Lock 250. Alright, well, we are at the end game. So I'm going to go ahead and save here, and we will stop this chapter. And next time, I'm going to show you both of the Thief endings for this game, because they put a special one in for the VGA remake. We'll see you then.